Good afternoon to all of you. Worthy Principal Madam, dear student, today we are going to discuss the topic India's G20 presidency. G20 and India's presidency development working meeting to be held in Mumbai from December 13 to 16, 2022. India will host over the 200 meeting in our 50 cities across 32 different work streams. G20 delegates and guests to get a glimpse of India's rich cultural heritage and a year-long India experience. The theme of the India's G20 presidency, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future, closely ties with lifestyle for environment. India's G20 presidency will work to promote this universal sense of oneness, hence our theme One Hour, One Earth, One Family, One Future. Prime Minister Narendra Modi representing the G20 presidency. Development Working Group aims to discuss development issues in developing countries, least developed countries and island countries. The Developing Working Group is a platform for G20 members countries to come together and prioritize multilateralism, share solutions that promote the growth, remap development plans and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals target. The G20 possesses the knowledge, expertise, financial resource required to reverse that have gone off track. The Development Working Group held in the third G20 at Bali between August 10 to 12, 2022 conclude with the discussion and finalization of the key G20 agreements, include G20 roadmap for the strong recovery and resilience in developing countries, least developed countries and the other countries, the G20 principle to scale up blended finance in developing countries, the G20 ministerial vision statement, multilateralism for sustainable development goals, decade of actions and the 2022 G20 Bali update. The first Developing Working Group meeting during India's presidency will be held in Mumbai from December 13 to 16, 2022. In these meeting sessions on data for development role of the G20 in advancing the 2030 agenda, infusing the new life into green development and accelerating the progress on the developing countries. The delegates will enjoy the cultural events that give them a unique India experiences, go for a gateway of India walk and also an excursions to Kanhari caves on the least days. In December 1st, 2022 is a red letter day as the India assumes the G20 presidency from the Indonesia and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in 2023. A nation deeply committed to democracy, the multilateralism, India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to play an important role by finding the pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of all and in doing so manifest the true spirit of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the world is one family. So, what is the G20? The group of G20 is an intergovernmental forum comprising 19 countries: Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, and the United States and the European states. These are the 19 countries which comprises the G20. The G20 members represent around the 85% of the global GDP, over the 75% of the global trade and about the 2/3 of the world population. The G20 was founded in 1999 after the Asian financial crisis as a forum for the finance minister and the central bank governors to discuss the global economic and financial issues. It was upgraded to the level of heads of the state government in the wake of the global economic and the financial crisis of 2007, and in 2009 was designated the premier forum for the international economic corporations. What is G20 summit? I may tell you one, the G20 summit. The G20 summit is held annually under the leadership of the rotating presidency. How does the G20 work? The G20 presidency steers the G20 agenda for 1 year and hosts the summit. The G20 consists of the two parallel tracks, the finance track and the Sherpa track. The finance track, finance minister and the central bank governors leads the finance track, while the Sherpas lead the Sherpa track. The finance track is led by the finance minister and the central bank governors of the members countries. Within the two tracks, there are thematically oriented working groups in which the representatives from the relevant ministers of the members as well as from the invited guest countries and the various international organizations participate. The G20 process from the Sherpa tracks is coordinated by the Sherpas of the members countries who are personal emissaries of the leaders. The Sherpa tracks oversees inputs from 13 working groups. The two initiatives, first a research initiative, innovation initiative, gathering, and G20 empowers, and the various engagement groups, all of whom meet throughout the year and develop their issue notes and outcomes documents in parallel. These substantive discussions then feed the consensus basis the recommendation to the SHARP meetings. In addition, there are the engagement groups which brings together the civil societies, parliamentarians, think tanks, women, youth, labor, business, etc. The start-up G20 engagement groups will be established under the India's G20 presidency for the first time, recognizing the role of the start-ups in dividing the innovations, the response to the rapidly changing the global scenario. G20 approach as outlined by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the Bali summit this year. India's G20 presidency from December 1st, 2022 to November 30, 2023. The 43 heads of the delegations, the largest ever in G20, will be participating in the final New Delhi summit in September next year. The G20 logo draws inspirations from the vibrant colors of India's national flag, saffron, white and green and blue. It juxtaposes planet Earth with the lotus, India's national flowers that reflects growth and challenges. The Earth reflects the India's pro-planet approach to life, one in perfect harmony with nature. Below the G20 logo is Bharat written in the Devanagari script. The theme of the India's G20 presidency, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future, is drawn from the ancient Sanskrit text of the Maha Upanishad. Essentially, the themes affirms the values of life, human, animals, plants, and microorganisms. Thank you.